Hello, and welcome back to episode 4 of the Rewind podcast, where we will be looking back on some of the most notable movies, books, and music that shaped our generation. Even though we grew up watching the same things, we definitely don't have the same opinions. And for our fourth topic, we watched Avengers Endgame. So, first, we're going to talk about our favorite scene in the movie. My favorite scene was like when Black Widow kills herself. Because I just think the fact that like her and Hawkeye are like kind of like fighting and they're both trying to like sacrifice themselves, but in the end she wins. I just think it's a very emotional scene, and just it's really kind of interesting how they're kind of both trying to sacrifice themselves. But yeah, it was interesting and emotional, and like when you're watching, you're not really sure who you want to win because you like both characters, so you want them both to live. So yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Philip. My favorite scene was when all like the heroes came back and they all like lined up and fought together. I thought it was like very cool how like all the like heroes from like all the movies and like my childhood like came together for like this movie and just like fought all together.
Yeah, it was definitely like a full circle moment, as Victoria was saying. For me, I kind of like the beginning of the movie, where they kind of like bound together. They found Thanos and where he was, and kind of like his retirement, you could say.
Killed me, but the work is done. It always will be. I am inevitable.
From killing everybody. But he kind of just, when Thor cut off his head, it was kind of like an ending to an era of him. And you kind of just are questioning what would happen next in the movie and kind of just thinking like really hard when watching this in theaters. I mean, I just like thought like, how does he come back? Like, how does this even happen? How does it come for a full circle moment where you could save everyone?
Yeah, that's very true. I remember watching it and just I was kind of like before I was theorizing what would happen, and then just seeing Thanos die in the beginning, it just was really a shocking way to start off the movie. But for our next topic, we're gonna do one thing we change about the movie. What I would change is actually right after what Cal was talking about is when they cut off Thanos' head. There's a 5-year gap. I just feel like it's a little long. I think a year and a half to 2 years would have been a better kind of length for that, because I just think it just doesn't seem like it's been like really truly 5 years. I think that's just a really long amount of time for what it really is, just everybody kind of being sad and like accepting it, which really could have happened in a short amount of time. It doesn't really affect the story too much, but I just feel like the 5 years is just a little too long for me. But
Yeah. Coming back to like Philip's favorite scene, I think that Black Widow's death should have deserved like a little bit more recognition. I thought it was kind of short and like they just like kind of brushed past it. So I think it would have been nice to have like a little bit more recognition.
Yeah, I think for me, the ending of it, when Iron Man like died, and there was kind of like a funeral for it. I really liked when, right, like he was alive and he kind of kept the Avengers together, and it was he was kind of the leader. So I always liked when he was around.
yeah, I kind of disagree. He was one of my favorite characters. I really liked him being alive, but he was there since the beginning. And I think it was a really good emotional way to end off the movie with his sacrifice, but also it kind of represents an end of that era, because Iron Man was like the first Marvel movie, and then it kind of went to Avengers Endgame. So having him die was kind of a nice like way to kind of close off that chapter.
I mean that makes sense, but like for me, like I just like hate to see him go because he was such a important role in the movies, and I just like. I don't know, like you can't really do an Avengers movie without Thor, or not Thor, Iron Man.
It's true. I guess they are bringing him back. So.
I mean, yeah, but like not really. It's like not really bringing him back. It's just kind of like.
I think it's probably like they say that, but it's probably if they're gonna cast the same actor, it's probably gonna be.
You think it's gonna be him?
I think it's
gonna
gonna be
how is he gonna come?
Not
back
like
though?
maybe that same one, but like a different Iron Man.
Just like a different timeline universe.
Yeah, but it's probably still Iron Man because they could just cast any like guy, but they chose him.
That's fair.
To
I mean, I get that.
But yeah, I think that his character went through a big arc of being kind of, you could say like an asshole in the beginning of the first movie to now sacrificing himself. So just a huge arc, and I think his story kind of reached a conclusion. And he could have just went into retirement, but I think either way, it would have made the most sense for him to like no longer be in kind of the movies. So they could either do that by him being retired, but realistically, it just makes more sense for him to die, at least from my perspective.
Yeah. Sorry, we can disagree.
Well, agree to disagree. All right, and the third topic is like, was it good, and what would we give it out of 10? I really do like this movie. I would give it an 8 out of 10 because I do think parts of it, aren't extremely amazing, but overall, it's a enjoyable time. I have a lot of nostalgia because I remember watching it in the theater and just being really excited. As a kid, this was probably my favorite movie of all time, but I guess I've kind of grown out of it a little bit, but I still really like it, but yeah, so an 8.
Yeah, I agree with Philip. I think I would give it like a 9.5. I think this movie really did like shape our generation, and I think it was a really good like emotional movie, and I think it was like a really good final battle, and it was like a great ending to the like Avengers storyline.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's one of my favorite movies that I've watched. I really loved how the full circle moment of all these Avengers and all these movies that you watch growing up ever since 2008 or whatever it was. I mean, I think it was just such a great final scene and final movie to tie like your childhood together.
All right. Thank you for listening to episode 4 of the Rewind podcast, and stay tuned for episode 5, which will come out soon.